The stars were gone. There was only darkness pressing in on every side. Not the usual hush of deep space, punctuated by occasional starlight. This was true void, a suffocating expanse that twisted the mind. And in the heart of that abyss, drifting silently toward the yawning maw of a massive black hole, was the derelict vessel known only as Althæra's Eye. Gil Draven snapped awake with a choking gasp. The lights dimmed and flickered overhead, casting fractured shadows that danced like specters on curving steel walls. "Hello?" Churning hum echoed through the metal beneath him. The unmistakable pulse of a ship alive, but sick. Sick and dying. He lay on the grated floor of a corridor whose angles hurt the eye to follow, smooth hallways that bent in impossible ways, lined with alien glyphs etched like burns into the walls. None of this was familiar. His head throbbed. Cale touched his temple, flinching as fingers brushed a wet, sticky mat of hair. Blood. Old and dried. There was a tiny device embedded above his right ear, cold, foreign, blinking softly with pale violet light. He yanked it free with a grimace and tossed it down the corridor, half expecting it to skitter away on its own. "Computer," he rasped. "Status report." Silence. No synthesized voice. No AI. Just the same ominous hum, and the occasional groan of stressed metal groaning under gravity's relentless pull. He checked his suit. WASA Regulation Mark 7, pilot class. Bloodied, scorched in places, with rank insignia half melted. He was a commander. Wasn't he? He stumbled to a nearby terminal, a bony protrusion from the wall, twitching faintly like a breathing organ. Tentatively, he placed his hand against it. The device came alive, twitching under his palm, alien characters shimmering into view. A moment later it switched to English. Ship designation, Althæra's Eye. Pilot, Gil Draven. Mission status, classified. Crew status, inactive, ALL. Location, event, horizon. Black hole Charybdis K9. Mission time elapsed, unknown. Cale stepped back. No. This wasn't right. He had been on a routine supply run to the outpost on Cradle 4, at least, he thought he had. His memory was a shredded film reel, flickers of faces he didn't quite recognize, the crunch of boots in Martian sand, a scream echoing through a bulkhead. Then. Nothing. Now he was here. Alone. Aboard something that pulsed like a living animal and reeked of power and death. He wandered the corridors, trying to get his bearings. The ship responded in ways he couldn't predict. Doors opened as he approached them, not sliding with mechanical whirs, but peeling open like membranes, sealing shut behind him. The air had a taste, metallic, coppery, like blood and ozone. That's when he heard it, a faint hiss, like breath caught between teeth. It echoed from deeper in the ship. He froze. No, that was impossible. The terminal had said crew status, inactive, all. He was alone. He had to be careful now. He followed the sound. The corridor sloped downward, unconventionally smooth, more like the inside of an artery than any human vessel. Fluids ran beneath translucent floor panels, thick and slow, luminescent blue. Symbols flashed by on the walls. He recognized none of them. Then, suddenly, a chamber, circular, domed, with a wide viewport overlooking Charybdis K9. The black hole dominated everything. A swirling leviathan of collapsed matter, devouring light itself. Surrounding it were streaks of dying stardust, twisted into ribbons by the hole's gravitational bite. Magnificent. Horrifying. And there, floating silently at the window, was a body. Not human. At least, not anymore. Cale stepped closer. The figure's back was to him. Armor fused to flesh. Tendrils extended from the base of its skull, linked by silky filament to the walls of the chamber. When he moved into the soft halo of light near the viewport, the body rotated slowly, revealing a face half shattered, half metal, and two eyes. One human. The other, glowing violet. His own. Cale recoiled, stumbling backward, breath caught in his throat. It was him. Or something that used to be him. No, what the hell is this? The creature twitched. Its mouth opened. And from it came a whisper. Not a voice made of sound, but something that slithered directly into Cale's mind. You returned. Too early. Cale staggered back. The whisper split into ragged static. Thousands of voices, layered atop each other, unraveling in reverse. And then, silence. The body went still. Light snapped off. Emergency runes flared, red, symbols scrolling up walls and warnings that needed no translation. Someone is awake. Core memory sector breached. Reboot sequence disrupted. The air thickened. A subsonic rumble coursed through the deck plates like swallowed thunder, and from overhead vents, a fine mist began to hiss out. Cale turned and ran. He didn't know where he was going. The ship morphed, quarters rearranged themselves, as if mocking his attempts to flee. But something in him, primal and furious, knew he couldn't stay. He was being hunted. Not by whatever that thing was. No. By the ship itself. As he rounded a bend, the walls convulsed. A shriek tore through the metal, a sound impossibly high-pitched and wet. A door slammed down behind him, severing the groaning howls of things that had just begun to wake inside hollow chambers. His breath came in ragged gulps. He fell against a wall, hand brushing against a control node. Another playback flicked to life. A surveillance feed. He saw himself, weeks ago? Months? Sitting in what looked like the command throne of Althæra's eye, but not the man he was now. Cold. Mechanical. Giving orders in a language not of Earth. Before him stood alien commanders, all kneeling. The real whisper, this time from inside his head, was unmistakable. "You weren't kidnapped, pilot. You volunteered." Cale collapsed to the ground. And somewhere deeper in the ship, something began to unseal.